June 13, 1980, Georgetown, Guyana. A 38-year-old man sits in a car with a walkie-talkie on his lap, his brother beside him. The walkie-talkie explodes. Walter Rodney, historian, scholar, revolutionary, one of the most dangerous thinkers the Caribbean ever produced, was dead. The man who handed him that device fled the country that same night. The government called it an accident. It took 34 years for anyone in power to say what most people already knew. The government killed him. This is that story. Walter Rodney was born in Georgetown, British Guyana in 1942, the son of a working-class family in a British colony. He earned a PhD from the School of Oriental and African Studies in London at 24 years old. He taught at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, alongside some of the most important African thinkers of the 20th century. He believed history was a weapon, and that black people had been robbed of theirs. Then he wrote a book that changed everything. In 1972, Rodney published How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. The argument was simple and devastating. Africa wasn't poor because Africans were incapable. Africa was poor because Europe had systematically stripped it of its wealth, its labor, its resources, over centuries, and called that civilization. Every dollar from the slave trade built European banks, European factories, European navies, not Africa. The book was banned in multiple countries, read in secret in others. It became one of the foundational texts of African studies, Caribbean thought, and anti-colonial movements worldwide, and it made Walter Rodney a target. By 1974, Rodney was back home in Guyana. He co-founded the Working People's Alliance, a multiracial opposition party challenging President Forbes Burnham. Burnham called his government cooperative socialism. What it really was, authoritarian rule, backed by rigged elections, political violence, and the quiet approval of Washington. The CIA had files on Rodney. British intelligence had files on him. He knew it. He spoke about it openly. He kept organizing anyway. By 1980, the WPA was gaining real momentum. Thousands were showing up to hear him speak. He was planning a major push for free elections. And then came the walkie-talkie. On June 13, 1980, Walter Rodney met with Gregory Smith, a member of the Guyana Defense Force, who had presented himself as a WPA sympathizer. Smith gave him a walkie-talkie. He said it was a communication device. It was a bomb. Rodney's brother Donald was in the car. The device detonated. Walter Rodney died. Donald survived, but lost his hand. Gregory Smith drove to the airport that same night and fled to French Guyana. He lived there for 22 years, protected, never extradited, never charged. He died in 2002. He never answered for what he did. The Burnham government said it was an accident. Then they suggested Rodney had been making his own bombs. Then they moved on. The Cold War made it easy. The U.S. had no interest in investigating a CIA-backed Caribbean government for killing a black Marxist scholar. The mainstream press barely covered it. 34 years later, in 2014, a commission of inquiry finally concluded what people already knew. The bomb came from the Guyana Defense Force. If you've never read How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, read it. It will change how you see the world. And if you learned something today, share this video, subscribe. The full story of what they did to black thinkers goes deeper than most people know.